Imagine a society founded on principles of civic virtue, shared power, and rule by the people, a radical vision in the ancient world. This was the genesis of the Roman Republic around 509 BCE, an audacious experiment in self-governance that would rise to conquer the Mediterranean and leave an indelible mark on Western civilization itself. But the Republic's triumphs also sowed the seeds of its demise through inequality, demagogues, and civil wars that ultimately ushered in the Roman Empire. The Republic's narrative is one of both shining ideals and human flaws, an epic rise, golden age, and tragic fall whose lessons still resonate today. The Roman Republic emerged after the expulsion of the Etruscan kings, an act fueled by the people's rejection of monarchical tyranny. In its place, the Romans established a republic, a res publica, or public affair in Latin, based on an intricate balance of powers. Two annually elected consuls commanded the armies and convened the Senate, an advisory council of the Republican aristocracy. The Senate drafted laws, but the assemblies of all male citizens could revise or veto them. Different administrative magistrates and tribunes represented the plebeians or common people. It was a bold system of checks and balances dedicated to upholding Roman virtues of duty, frugality, and putting the Republic's interests before one's own. While still a slave-owning oligarchy by modern standards, the Republic's ideals of civic participation and self-rule were radically unprecedented. Over the next few centuries, the Roman Republic's military and cultural influence steadily expanded across the Italian peninsula through conquest and defensive alliances against external threats like the Gauls. But it was the three Punic Wars against Carthage between 264–146 BCE that truly solidified Rome's status as the preeminent power of the ancient Mediterranean. Under icons like Scipio Africanus, Hannibal's invasion of Italy was heroically repelled. The Carthaginian Empire was dismantled, and its territory absorbed to make the Western Mediterranean a Roman lake. By the 2nd century BCE, the Republic had become the greatest power of the ancient world through tactical brilliance, organizational might, and an unshakable sense of Roman cultural superiority. Yet this very success bred tensions and hubris that fermented the Republic's downfall from within. The spoils of imperial expansion enriched a patrician ruling class, but heightened class inequalities, replacing the agrarian ideal with decadent luxury and personal ambition. Power became increasingly concentrated among generals like Marius and Sulla, who violently purged their opponents, subverting the Republic's institutions to advance their own aims. Demagogues like the Gracchi brothers tried to reform the system but were assassinated, worsening the vicious cycle of violence and demagogic populism. These trends culminated in the climactic civil war between Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great from 49–45 BCE. After emerging victorious, Caesar sidelined the Senate's authority and entrenched his own personality cult as the Republic's last dictator Perpetuo. His assassination in 44 BCE sparked another civil war, from which Caesar's heir Octavian emerged in 27 BCE as Augustus, the celebrated first citizen who in reality became Rome's first totalitarian emperor. The Republic's founding ideals had now fully transitioned into an imperial autocracy, no matter how it was spun. So what relevance does the Roman Republic's story hold for us today, beyond its indelible mark on Western government and law? Its narrative serves as a stark cautionary tale about how noble democratic ideals and checks on power can become eroded by human flaws like greed, demagoguery, perpetual warfare, and consolidating emergency powers. The Roman Republic's decline parallels how fragile and imperfect even deeply rooted democratic systems can be, if not constantly renewed. As we continue to grapple with challenges like wealth inequality, populism, civic disengagement, and conflicts over unchecked executive powers today, the Roman Republic's hard-learned lessons remain as vital as ever in safeguarding our modern democratic traditions. The Roman Republic's saga encapsulates both the great achievements of which humanity is capable through shared civic purpose and cooperation, as well as the perilous follies of naked ambition, hubris, and abandoning founding principles in unstable times. In future episodes of Echoes of Eras Past, we'll explore other pivotal moments in history like the rise of world religions, global philosophies and empires, revolutionary movements, and transformative eras that still reverberate with us today. By reflecting on these echoes, perhaps we can amplify human knowledge and avoid the tragic pitfalls of history repeating itself. For now, we hope this exploration into the Roman Republic's grandeur and frailty gives you a newfound appreciation for civic self-governance, that wondrous yet fragile ideal that freedom-loving Romans strived for nearly 2,000 years ago. It's our imperative to learn from their failures and triumphs alike.